Um, so the second part was the Eternal Summer. This one was done by Jonathan Morris. Different writer from the first one. The first one I forgot to mention was done by Alan Barnes. Uh, and both of them are writers that I've come to like listening through these things. They've come up a few times and are kind of. I think they've done novels too, and definitely comics. I know Barnes did comics, but this was the middle part, and I was kind of hoping it would live up to the teaser because the ending. I didn't mention it, but I'll slightly spoil the ending of Castle of Fear. An explosion happens. A weird explosion happens, and the TARDIS gets swept up in it. And then the Doctor and Nyssa they wake up and find themselves in Stockbridge in the quote unquote present. Only it's something's wrong. They're in Stockbridge, but Stockbridge is caught in this. I'm going the best way I'm going to put it is it's kind of like a space-time snow globe. They're caught in this dome, this area in Stockbridge, where basically they live through the course of their lives. All the people here live for the course of their lives in one day, and it's not like the whole town's doing it. Like different people are going through their lives at different paces, and it's all kind of this. It's kind of like for anyone who watched the modern series finale, the series 6, Wedding a River Song. The whole setting was times mashed up, and there's all this stuff happening. You know, pterodactyls and Winston Churchill's Ruler of Rome and all that. It's kind of like that to a much smaller scale because it's concentrated on one area, and it's not like all of time's happening. It's just the course of all their lives and all of them dying. And it's very much the first two parts definitely are them trying to figure it out. They eventually do figure it out with a really creepy twist. I will spoil this. The Doctor, they kind of find out that that not only do the people know this is happening, they're completely acceptant of it because it's happened to them who knows how long, how many times. So they even asked some people at one point why, if this keeps happening to you, why, I mean, even after they've accepted it's happening, why do you still feel bad? Because someone dies, well, they all die, of course, but when one of them sees his wife die, they're like, it still hurts. And I do love the fact that, this thing should have made them, if not crazy, it should have made them more distant, but I do love the fact that they stayed with that kind of, all the characters, all the side characters, the people who inhabit this strange time captured version of Stockbridge, they're all likable human people, and I was interested in everyone. And again, that's a great feat that I care about everyone in it. I mean, even in great stories, there's some characters I don't latch on to. And a character specifically you're kind of supposed to pay attention to is a character played by Mark Williams, who just appeared in the first half of Series 7. He plays a character. What's his name? I'm blanking. I'm gonna figure his name out. I'm looking it up as I'm talking, but I'll keep going. The idea of his character, and he actually debuted all the way back in the '80s while Doctor Who was still going. He debuted in the comic strip from Doctor Who Monthly, in a story that took place, of course, in Stockbridge. Maxwell Edison, that's his name. I can't believe it. He's fun. He's amazing. I never watched Harry Potter's. Well, I've watched the first 3 Harry Potter movies, so I never really got a chance to care about anyone in the movie that well. But I love Mark Williams from what he was doing on Series 7, and here he's great. He's hilarious. the whole idea is he's very much he's a conspiracy nut. He follows UFOs and reads every Terry Pratchett novel. He's very interested. He's insane. He's to a certain extent crazy, but you do care for him. They do kind of paint him to be the loon of the village, and he you feel so bad for him. And there's even a point, and you think this would kind of make things distracting, but at one point because as they go on, there's this group of people who are working. They're outside of the bubble, and they're working to try and figure out what it is and how they can stop it, because it's obviously dangerous, because it's a giant glowing bubble made of time. And they wear hazmat suits. They get out and they meet him, and the leader of the group, they're called Pig. It's a goofy anagram, and they even have him join later because, well, he's crazy enough to join their insane group, and he kind of starts to get cozy with their head leader, and you're happy for the guy. You're more than happy for the guy, because they do paint him as this kind of lonely outcast character, and you feel happy for him, and you fall in love with him here. I've read, because the classic omnibus, the second one, features the story he was in, the Stockbridge one. So I definitely knew the character, but the actor made me love him here, and he's really a big part of it, and he plays amazingly well with Davison. There's a joke, and I'm probably gonna butcher this, where he does that Star Trek thing where they state their problem, and then he does that where he like gives a simple analogy for it, like, oh no, we're in a shell. I mean, what if the shell's like plastic, and we can just rip a hole with it with our finger? And he does something to that extent, and then the Doctor basically the Doctor literally takes a minute just to make a ridiculous point and make him look stupid. I appreciate that, especially from this one, because this Doctor, though he's he can deliver comedy like any of them, he's not a big fan of comedy. His stories aren't as humorous. His TV stories weren't that humorous because they were really trying to kind of stay a lot lighter with the comedy, because it was kind of, a lot of people thought it was the death of Tom Baker's Doctor to a certain extent. And then after that, there's the point where you find out that they not only are the people in the village aware that they're stuck in this weird time situation, but you meet the lord and lady of the land, and you find out they're these insanely old, insane versions of Nis and the Doctor. It's a big spoiler, but it's kind of remiss to not spoil it, because they're both entertaining as hell in that. They both get to play. They're not playing the same characters at all. They're playing really insane kind of they're playing dictators. They're playing crazy, we rule this land, and they cackle a lot. Oh, this must have been fun, especially for Davison. It's so cool to see Davison play this crazy, evil-sounding character when you're so used to him being this nice, calm, conservative hero. So, I'm spoiling something big, but you still don't exactly find out why it's happening. I'll tell you that. I will say this though. I'm more in love of it now, as opposed to, because I've listened to this twice. The first time I was kind of meh because it was kind of confusing. The situation was confusing, and certain parts didn't click right away. And then I gave it a second listen through, and I think with some of the foreknowledge, you got to see how stuff connected better, and it went along a lot smoother. It was more enjoyable to me second time around. This was really good, and again, even though the threat is fixed, I'm going to say that, it made me interested in the third story of the trilogy. And so far, yeah, the first two have been really good in this trilogy. So I'll see you for the last part, Plague of the Daleks.